So hi everyone, and welcome down to the woods. Here today with Willow and Toby and mate of mine Gary. As you can see over here, this is the pen we've inherited. We're in about probably maybe 15 or 20 acres of quite mature farm woodland. It's coming towards end of April now, so we're a little bit later getting involved with stuff than we'd like to have been, but there's a lot of growth here, hasn't been managed for many years, and as you can see we've been trying to do a few bits and bobs here and there. This area here, we had a few trees come down over the last few years, and hopefully you can see there's quite a lot of undergrowth, new growth happening there. There's something we're hopefully going to be able to establish in the main wood over here, which, to be honest, as you can see, a lot of the tall trees have grown up and the canopies are very heavy, and that's taken out all of the understory cover, and I think in previous seasons that's been the major problem, trying to hold birds here. We are this way facing due east, obviously sun sets to the west over there. We're going to try a few methods. We've been bleaching down some of the hazels. We are going to be trying to cut a few down, make some dead hedges, trying to build some cover areas that hopefully brambles will grow through, picking a few of the areas of hazel to allow them to come back, give us some windbreaks, some lines of cover, and we're starting today to look at some of the bigger trees. It's going to be a bit difficult for what we're capable of to really start looking at felling them. A lot of these trees here are 30, 40, 50 years old, 50, 60 plus feet high, bit too much to try and bring down for amateurs. So we're going to be looking at a few techniques we've been learning about off the internet, from tree stand improvement works done for deer management in the States. See if we can get them to work here. So we're looking at maybe ringing a few of the badly placed trees and really looking at the spacing of the trees to allow some light in, build up that understory, and hopefully take this wood from what was becoming quite a cold, damp, hollow environment into somewhere with some diversity, some patches of light to bring on different herbaceous plants, small shrubs, brambles and the like, to provide a bit of natural habitat, some cover obviously for our pheasants, but some browse and some forage for the native deer, and the extensive numbers of various wild birds we find in this little wood. The other thing we're looking ideally to do is to create some edge habitat throughout the wood. We'll take you down later, show you there's a big ride that goes through at the far end. Just bring some of that light in, take out some of the problem trees. We've got an awful lot of ash in here that are starting to die back, so there's a little bit of safety management involved with that as well. We'd like to try and isolate a few of those before they die off and potentially cause problems for people using the woods thereafter. Anyway, that's a little introduction. Let's get involved, show you a bit more. So we'll just sit here outside the bottom of the pen. As you can see in there behind me, there's quite a lot of fallen wood, but not an awful lot of cover. And around here below, hopefully you can see where we're starting to take a few bits out, a few historic fallen trees. The cover's starting to open up a bit, improve the habitat somewhat. So coming in through here, as you can see, we've started to make a bit of inroads into a lot of this weed hazel that had grown up over the years. Starting to lay that down, and hopefully this will encourage the brambles to grow. As you can see here, if we just come up a bit, hopefully You can see where a few of the large trees came down in the winter storms. We're starting to get some nice light holes in, which is really encouraging. But panning across and looking further back in to this particular bit of wood, as you can see, really quite thick, with these enormous ash trees here, and obviously as they come into full leaf they'll be sucking huge amounts of light from the forest, from the woodland floor. So a lot of work to do. So here we are in a little patch of woodland we did some clearance work on last year. I think straight away you can see there's big, huge amounts of sunlight coming in. The understory's completely different. We've got a nice open patch here. Last year encouraged a few birds in. The bramble growth is starting to come up. We've got the main carpet of bluebells is starting to be interspersed with some other wildflowers, some celandines and buttercups. And already you can see there's some structure coming back into this woodland and this part here, and it's something we really are keen to try and extend and continue on further down the ride through here and back towards the pen in that direction. Just try and build some habitat for the birds as we come from their delivery sometime in August up until when we're ready to look at beginning the harvest sometime hopefully in November. Beautiful piece of woodland here today, very calm, very still, lots of songbirds in here, lots of species come in and breed, and it's generally a beautiful all-round habitat, something we're very, very pleased and very honoured to be able to have access to, and something that all of us are extremely keen to make the best of, not allow it to fall into disrepair and into lack of management, and something that we can hopefully get that diversity working and encourage lots of more species to use this and to improve the overall health of this small piece of farm woodland. So we've got a few more of the weed hazels. We're going to try and take a few of these smaller ones out. A few trees came down in this area over the winter last year. You can see it's greened up quite nicely, plenty of cover in here. So what we're going to try and do is take down a few of these ones just in behind me here, stop them encroaching, try and let the light keep coming in, keep these brambles nice and thick and healthy. Right, so we're going to have a go at these slightly bigger hazels. They're, what are they, probably 2-3 inches across. So I'm going to have a go with my Nordic pocket saw. Really good bits of kit this. Like every saw though, got to keep it sharp. So we'll have a go with this one, see if we can bring those two slightly bigger ones down. So yeah, probably made that a little harder than it needed to be, but at least it's down, it's on the ground now. So that's another 2 down, only about another 78 million to go. Good thing is though with these, as you can see, we've got some nice thickness on these timbers. And we can use those, get them sawn up, use them as some poles and maybe fence posts. Obviously they won't last a huge amount of time, but for what we're wanting to do here, trying a few new things, at least they can work as some poles and some legs when we put up some little ground shelters for the birds, try and keep them out of the eyes of the buzzards. Right, so inside the pen now, we've done a fair bit of work in here already. I'll turn around in a minute and show you the inside of the pen, but we noticed the end of last year, it all looks lovely and green and lush with beautiful tall trees. Main problem we had was you get down to pheasant level and it was like a wasteland, like a desert. There was absolutely no cover at all. So what we've tried to do in here is we're taking out some of the weed hazel that have grown up We've had a couple of the mid-sized sycamores down, and obviously the sycamores were sucking up huge amounts of light. So we try to make a couple of little holes, bring in light in the evening. We've got the afternoon sun coming through here now. Sun will rise right there behind me. And we've got this whole bank area we'll have a look at in a moment that up until we started in here a couple of days ago was just completely barren. Some beautiful bluebells on the ground, but mainly it was just weed sycamore, weed hazel, just shading it all out, and absolutely nothing was growing down here. So, you know, come end of spring when the bluebells have died back, we'd have the odd little weed fern, not much else growing. And sadly our birds just took one look at it, decided they fancy their chances up over the hill and in the field. So this year what we're going to try and do is encourage a bit more habitat, a bit of cover. We're blessed and cursed, I suppose, with a good healthy population of buzzards down here. And whilst we like to live alongside them, unfortunately they came in, targeted the young birds in the pen, and it was like chicken dinners all round. So we'll have a look round and see what we've been up to. So up here on the bank, just coming around through, you can see a few of the hazels there we've taken down. And here, this is an old weed sycamore we've taken out just today. Dropped in down there nicely. We're going to tidy up the brash, make some nice dead hedges. Some of the bigger timber we're going to stack, make some some beetle banks, a bit of bug cover. We're going to put a few shelters in for the birds. Don't know if you can make out these beautiful sky holes starting to see. Not only is it going to let a lot more light down to the understory, hopefully encourage some diversity, some growth of some different plants, build up some cover, rejuvenate this part of the woodland. It's also going to allow these beautiful mature oaks and chestnuts, which you can see are starting to lean out and try and desperately struggle and grab some light, should allow them to really mature properly, balance out, open their crowns up, and over the next few years become some beautiful trees. So here we go, old brash piles of hazel from what was completely barren and coverless. We've now got some little areas the birds can really get in under, somewhere they can dry off in the rain, somewhere to forage around as these bits of wood start dying back. And we have, as you can see, we've done a mixture of sort of pleaching a few over. Anyone who is a good hedge layer, we do apologise for the crudity of it, but needs must. So these ones will continue to sprout, and these dead ones will slowly start to rot back, producing loads of flies and beetles and beetle larvae. All good stuff for the wild birds, and hopefully also good for our pheasants. So as they come up through this part of the pen now, before they go over the top to the little bit of cover crop we've got there, we're hoping that this is going to be a little more inviting than it has been, and encourage them to spend a bit more time where they're nice and safe, well fed and well watered. So again, as we look across here now, we've done quite a lot of pushing some of these trees down. It looks all a bit untidy at the moment. We've started to bring some back into brash piles like here. But I think what we're going to try and do is leave it as it is for a month or so, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, see how we go. Be nice to give the bluebells a chance to get through flower, set seed, and get some energy back in the corms for next year. So we don't really want to be traipsing around too much, try and keep foot contact on the ground as low as we can. But unfortunately, as we look deeper into the wood, there's an awful lot of work still to do. Anyway, stick with us. Hopefully you'll join us next time. And thanks for coming down the woods.